Over the last decade or so, the craft beer market has exploded. Small scale production, big bold flavors, but what started with beer has led to soda. Take this Daredevil orange cream soda, for example. One day I was sipping on a cold one of these, loving it, and I thought, what a fantastic way to complement my spicy chicken stir fry. Has led to the Daredevil Chicken Stir Fry. I'm Chef Michael Williams, and today, that's what we're cooking on the coast. Welcome to the kitchen. Today we have a tangy take on a classic stir fry. You're gonna love our Daredevil chicken. Let's get started. So for me, when I'm cooking in the kitchen, it's all about getting everything in place. You wanna get your veggies chopped, your chicken chopped, your ginger, your garlic, whatever you need, have it all ready to go. It's called your mise en place. It's really important. So we're gonna start off here with the onion. I'm gonna cut the top and the bottom off. And then I'm gonna cut it in half like so. Now that does two things. That gets rid of the top and bottom, of course, but it also makes it easier to peel. And now I'm just gonna do basically like a rough dice on this, okay? So we're gonna chop like so, and then like so, and then we've got our diced onion. And we're gonna start off, when we start cooking, with a little bit of sweet onion. We've got a sweet onion here, some ginger, some garlic, and some jalapeno. So, onions are good to go. Let's start rolling, get the jalapeno going. Now, if you like heat, you can stick with the seeds and the veins. If you want to keep it super mild, but just get the flavor of the jalapeno, then you can remove the seeds and the veins. I like to do a little bit. I like to get rid of some. So check out how I do this. I've now got it in a quarter, and very carefully, I'm just going to remove the seeds and the veins there like that. That's going to go, oh, we want that guy. These guys are going to go into our compost. I always like keeping things tidy and organized while I'm working. We've got a little bit of seed and vein here, just so we're gonna get a bit of heat out of this. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice this as thin as I can. So, take your time, nice sharp knife, cutting boards in place, locked down with a nice wet rag underneath. That's a good tip for you. Remember that one. And then once these are sliced up, we're ready to move on to chopping some garlic. I've got a hot tip for you when it comes to chopping garlic. So now, depending, again, we were talking about spice earlier. We left a little bit of the seeds and the veins in. Now, if you wanted to mild this out a little bit, you definitely want to chop these up a little bit finer. We're going to have a nice little kick with these jalapenos the way they are, and that's how I like it. Now, when it comes to garlic, we can, just do one clove at a time, or we can get busy, grab our frying pan, and just crunch it down. Now what we do here, separate it out. We've got our cloves ready to go, and magically, some of our cloves are already peeled. In fact, we've got just enough for what we need here. A few cloves is how we're gonna roll. If you like more garlic, add more garlic. You can do that. Recipes are kind of like, they're like a guide. They're a starting point. It's up to you to customize how you're cooking, your taste preferences. Everybody likes things a different way. If you like lots of heat, add in some extra jalapeno. Heck, maybe even a habanero if you want to really kick it up. So let's get this garlic chopped up as well. And then from the garlic, we've kind of got, this is our starting point. These are our building block flavors. We've got the sweet onion, the heat from the jalapeno, lots of great flavor out of this garlic. We're gonna leave it fairly large, nice kind of chunks, okay? Now, next step, peppers and fennel. Now, I know you may not have worked with fennel before. It's not a super common vegetable. Fantastic though, one of my favorites. I absolutely love fennel. So, how do we work with it? First thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut the top off like so. If you want to, you can kind of trim the bottom up as well. And I'm gonna cut this in half like so. And you can see we've got a bit of a little core here. We do wanna slice this up. So I'm gonna get rid of that core by cutting it into quarters. And then, like so, we've removed the core. Now we can work on slicing it up. So I want that fennel to have a nice identity in our finished stir fry. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it, julienne, a little bit thick, not too thin. And then once that's cooked, it softens up. and has a wonderful identity in our finished product. So things are coming together nicely here. We're looking good. We have our fennel, our onions, we've got our garlic and our jalapeno, red peppers coming up next. And you know what? We're pretty much halfway there. Most of the legwork is done. This is a pretty simple recipe. And that's the way I roll. I think many of you have been following me over the years. You know I like to keep it simple. There's no reason to overcomplicate things. Cooking, it's a beautiful thing. And you know, what we've got here, they're the flavors, they're the identity. We don't need a whole bunch of extra ingredients. We've got a few spices. Let these things sing as they may. A little bit of red pepper, let's get that going. So everything's working together here. Now, I should actually throw out a little warning here. Anytime you're working with hot peppers, once you're done chopping them up, it's a good idea to kind of, you know, wash your hands, clean up your cutting board. Jalapenos, they're not too bad. They're not super hot, not super spicy. So, but if you're working with, say, habaneros, like I mentioned earlier, you know, and then say you don't wash your hands, and then you go up and maybe you rub your eye after you're done cooking. You're not gonna like that. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna be painful. Okay, so look at this. We've got a beautiful board here. We've got our sweet onions, the jalapenos, the garlic, the peppers, the fennel. It's all coming together. I'm gonna grab my chicken now. We've got a couple breasts, and just for the sake of food safety, I've got a separate board. I always like to work with a separate board. So I'm gonna chop my chicken up. And what I'm gonna do here, we've got two, these are quite large, which is fine. We're gonna end up with a nice big stir fry out of this. I'm just gonna cut these into cubes. Now, let's say I'm not cubing this chicken. Let's say I'm wanting to slice this chicken, and I'm, you know, thinking maybe I want my chicken to be as tender as possible, because that's something I aim for. On this breast of chicken here, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a grain, a direction of the way the muscle fibers work. So in order to end up with the most tender sliced chicken, I would cut against the grain. Just a little extra tip for you. We're dicing it, but if you wanted to slice it, we could. We could use sliced chicken in this recipe, absolutely. We're gonna go back to dicing our chicken though. And there we go. Chicken's ready to go. All right, so we're gonna be back later in the show to pull all this together, our Daredevil Chicken Stir Fry. So stick around, and following the break, we're heading out on the road. You'll definitely wanna be here for that.
Cookin' on the Road is brought to you by Cold Star Solutions, an integral part of Vancouver Island's grocery supply chain for 20 years.
No, I'm not a mannequin, but yes, I am wearing my Electric Unicorn IPA shirt. We're here at Phillips Brewing and Malting Co., known for their incredible beer and amazing artwork. You may not know this, craft beer, yes, but they're also known for their craft sodas. We're gonna go talk to Russell right now and find out more. Hey Russell, how you doing?
Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. Excellent. Nice to see you again.
Likewise, glad to have you here.
So, as you know, I love cooking with Phillips Soda Works. You know, I'm making barbecue sauces with your root beer. I use your orange cream soda to create a stir fry. I've used the cola in a braising dish before. It's fantastic. I love it. And as I look out on what you've got spread out here, I'm seeing stuff that I would normally cook with.
Yeah,
What's
absolutely.
going on here?
Well, a big part of the reason why we got into making sodas was kind of doing something a little bit different. We wanted to make everything from scratch, so we're using all real ingredients.
Like this?
Exactly, yeah. So
I'm seeing actual vanilla bean.
That's right. So that's a lot of the ingredients that go into our root beer. It's kind of our most complicated recipe. Lots of ingredients in there, and again, everything from scratch. So
Yeah,
you can
it smells
smell that.
incredible.
It smells
It's fresh. It's
yeah,
real.
So a whole plethora of ingredients in there. You see the cinnamon, there's licorice roots, sarsaparilla roots, cinnamon cloves. cloves, again, all things you'd find in the kitchen as well.
Absolutely.
You know, the ginger ale, we're using fresh ginger. We mash it ourselves in-house.
So run me through a process here, you know, like we've got all these ingredients here. How do you turn it into a bottle of ginger ale or a bottle of root beer?
No, I'm not going to give away all the secrets.
Okay.
But the basic process is kind of like making tea, really. So there's a lot of kind of steeping processes. You know, we're very lucky that we get to use a lot of the equipment that we had on hand from being a brewery in the first place. So,
and you guys have been making beer for a long time, right?
Yeah, you bet, since 2001.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then when did the soda come
So we started making the soda in 2012.
Okay.
We kind of came out of the gates with the root beer and the ginger ale,
Yeah.
and we've kind of trickled some more products in throughout then. So.
And so will they be like, you know, a giant vat of soda happening back there?
There's some big vats for sure. I mean, everything we do is still small batch, you know, especially in considering the big world that soda drinks are.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some space back there, and again, it's nice that we've got all the equipment in place from the brewing procedures.
Of course.
We can use all the same packaging equipment. It was one of the things that, you know, kind of informed our decision to try and get into this.
Makes good sense.
And again, kind of making everything from scratch. And
well, you know, there's nothing better than sitting back and enjoying the incredible flavor out of your ginger ale or your orange cream soda.
Yeah,
in
you
fact,
betcha.
you know what? I'm kind of thirsty right now.
I got a couple of cold ones for us. You bet.
Nice. Cheers, Russell.
You bet. Enjoy.
That is so good. There's just the orange is bursting. The vanilla is so there. I love it.
Yeah, I like ginger ale because it's got a little bit more zip than your standard ginger ale. You can actually taste the ginger, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. I'm gonna keep sipping on this.
Excellent.
All right, it's back into the kitchen. We're pulling together our Daredevil Chicken Stir Fry. As you can see, I've got a hot pan ready to roll. So, coconut oil is the oil of choice today. We're gonna get about 2 tablespoons in there. And right away, we'll get in our sweet onions. Nice and hot. That's what we're looking for. And in fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and put in the garlic and the jalapeno as well. So we'll let that kind of get rolling. We want to get some color on our onions, the sweet onions, the jalapeno, the garlic. We want to caramelize it a little bit. So I'm going to bring the heat up a little bit. Medium high is the temperature we're looking for. Now, as I mentioned, coconut oil, that's what we're going with. Coconut oil is a bit of a craze these days. Everybody thinks coconut oil is going to save your life. Probably not the case, but it's something I do like to incorporate into my diet just to mix things up, you know. If we use the same oil every single day for every single process, we're only getting the nutritional benefits of that one oil. So let's mix it up. Let's use some coconut oil. Let's use some extra virgin olive oil when we're making our salad dressings. Grapeseed oil, avocado oil, they all give us different things. So we're kind of broadening the horizon of our, nutrition intake. So next up's gonna be our chicken. As you can see, it's cubed up. We already worked on that. Once we get the chicken in the pan, we're gonna continue with the browning process, get a little bit of caramelization happening on that, and then we're gonna season with just a little bit of Himalayan pink salt, some ground coriander seed. We wanna get that in the pan so it can toast a little bit. And we've got heat already from the jalapeno, but if you want to, you can add in some black pepper as well. I like to layer my heat. I love heat. I'm big on it, hot sauce. I'm always adding spice into my dishes. So we got some nice browning happening here already. It's looking good. I think we're probably ready to get our chicken in the pan. Okay. You want to make sure that your pan's nice and hot, especially once that meat hits the pan. Really important. If it is not hot, then we're going to end up with, a pool of liquid releasing from the chicken, and it's just, it's not going to saute, it's not going to brown, it's going to end up simmering in its own juices. Once our chicken has browned, then we'll get our peppers and our fennel into the pan. We can probably get our seasoning going in now, so let's do that. This is the coriander. Oh, that smells amazing. As soon as that coriander hit the pan, it's just the aromatics really took over. A little bit of Himalayan pink salt. And let's go ahead with that black pepper. I like lots. That's how I roll. So we've been talking stir fry. We're gonna finish this stir fry off once we've got all our ingredients with a little bit of this orange cream soda. Totally, totally strange. You might be thinking like, what the heck? But trust me, it is so good. I love it. Does that not look amazing? The smell is incredible. I wish you could smell this. And you know what? One day you will, because you're gonna make this recipe. I know it. Okay, so I think we can probably toss in our peppers and our fennel. Still got some cooking to do there. We want to make sure our chicken's cooked all the way through, of course. But now that we've kind of caramelized it a little bit, we'll get these other veggies kind of softening up. And then we're actually going to finish the cooking process with that soda, the cream soda, in the pan. So it's going to kind of simmer. We want to concentrate it down a little bit. We want that soda to just be a very kind of loose liquid form on our stir fry. So, you know, it's not going to be a sauce per se. It's just going to be an accent, and it's just going to kind of tie everything together. The other thing it's going to do, because we've got the sweetness in the soda, it's going to mellow out the jalapeno, right? So it's a little bit of a balancing act. We've got some heat on there with the jalapenos, and we're just going to smooth things out with a little bit of sweetness and keep things balanced. It's one of the funnest parts about cooking. It's balancing the sweet, the salty, the bitter, and the spicy. All right, so let's do it. In goes the soda. We want about a cup. So we got 355 mils in here. There's 250 mils, so that leaves just enough for a sip. All right, so we're gonna let that, I'm having a hard time keeping things in the pan here, but that's okay. That's all part of cooking. As you can see, you know, there's quite a bit of liquid soda in here at the moment, but that's gonna concentrate down. While that happens, the chicken is going to finish cooking just right. And before long, we'll be ready to plate this up. Now, I wanna finish this dish off with a little bit of fresh cilantro. So while this simmers away, I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Let's chop up our cilantro. So, herbs, green herbs, you can't get enough of them really. Fantastic thing to incorporate into your diet. We've got a beautiful bouquet here, if you will, of organic cilantro. And I know there's some people who can't stand the taste of cilantro. What is it, 1 in 10, 1 in 12? I can't quite remember. Anyways, you know, if you're totally against it, that's fine. You don't have to use it. You could use basil. You could use parsley. You could use oregano. There's lots of options to change things up, but use the green herbs. They're fantastic. Lots of benefits by incorporating fresh herbs into your diet. Now, I will point out here, my bunch of cilantro here, I washed it really well. I just ran it under the sink and washed. You know, sometimes these fresh herbs are a little bit dirty, so it's really important to get a good wash on it. And then how I finish it off before I chop it up, it's really important that it's dry. You need to make sure it's dry. That's how I do it, just like that. That shakes it off, it dries it off, and you know, you might find a rogue piece of cilantro in my carport, because that's where I tend to shake it off. Don't want to splatter water everywhere. But hey, check that out. You can shave with a nice sharp knife. You can shave your cilantro right off. We'll give a bit of a rough chop on this. We don't want to chop it too fine. And that should probably do it. Yeah, that's looking good right there. So let's take a look at our stir fry now. This is really coming together nicely. There's a little bit more viscosity to what's happening in the pan. I'm confident that our chicken is perfectly cooked right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kill the heat, and we will be ready to plate this up. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a scoop of this. Actually, I'm gonna grab many scoops because my mouth is watering. This smells amazing, and I really, really, really want to enjoy this bowl of stir fry. And I think we've got a guest who's gonna join us very shortly, so I'm gonna do up a second bowl. Finish it off with a little bit of fresh chopped cilantro. And you know what? I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this. I'm seeing some extra juice to drizzle over top there. Oh, there you have it. This is looking fantastic. And you know what? I need to check. Make sure the seasoning is just right. Oh, wow. Chicken's so tender. I'm excited. So, our wonderfully tangy Daredevil Chicken Stir Fry.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
Now, what better way to enjoy my Daredevil Chicken Stir Fry than with a choice beverage? Ursula from Phillips Fermentorium.
Hello.
Did I get that right?
You sure did.
All right.
Yes.
I'm pretty stoked about this because you've brought Stump Gin. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. So we figured with the sweetness of the stir fry here that our Stump Gin, the botanical flavors that
Yeah.
are in there would pair really well with the
Right.
stir fry.
So I'm seeing lots of botanicals here. There's all kinds of flavors going on in
Yeah.
this gin, right?
Yeah, so this is actually made with a handful of different botanicals that are all sourced right from BC, so
Okay.
very locally made.
Yeah.
You'll notice a lot of really piney flavors that are coming from the Cascade hops and
Yeah.
the Grand Fir that are in there.
Right.
So very West Coast forest feel to it.
Awesome. And you know, I'm very familiar with your tonics. I love your tonics, and I've been pairing that with different gins for a while now. So, you know.
Yeah, so all of our tonics, both of our tonics and the sodas are all naturally made. So, you know, no artificial flavors or syrups in there. So a
Not
really
too
nice
sweet.
alternative.
I like that they're kind of, you know,
Yeah.
mild on the sweetness and yeah, great flavors. So let's
All
cheers
right.
to that.
Cheers.
Wow. There's so much going on there. Like
Yeah.
all those different notes with all these different botanicals. I can really identify a lot.
It's really just
Definitely
like
the pine.
walking through a West Coast
Totally.
forest.
Yeah. Well, let's try the stir fry here and,
All
and tell me
right.
what you think of the pairing. So lots of sweetness, a little bit of spice with that jalapeno. I think it goes nicely. What do you think?
I think it's a great combination for sure. Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm excited. Thank you so much, Ursula. Check out our website where you will find details on today's recipe. I'm Michael Williams. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, dinner is better when we eat together. Oh, that's so good. I really do love it. It's awesome.